Hello everyone, this is Nino back with another video from Humble English. There is confusing verbs in use Samil Naralan. I hope you're gonna stay with me the whole session. Confusing verbs in use. Look, these are always in our routine English. So borrow. So what's this word stand for? Hey, borrow. Mindano. Let's see. To take something. Take something from somebody. From somebody. To take something from somebody for temporary use. For temporary use. Okay? This borrow is to take something from somebody for temporary use. When we say, what does it mean here? Temporary? Temporary, ምን ማለታችን ነው? ለጊዜያዊ አገልግሎት እንገለገልበት የምንወስደው ነገር borrow ይባላል. To take something from somebody for temporary use, it says. Okay? It's only understanding to give it back though. Okay? Just በአማርኛ ውሰት የምንለው ነው ወይ መበደር ነው. Okay? መበደር የምንለው ነው. መዋስ ወይ መበደር የምንለው ነው. Borrow, to take something from somebody for temporary use. Okay? መዋስ ወይም መበደር ምትሉት ነው እና ብዙን ጊዜ lend ከምትለው የሷ አቻ የሆነች ቃል ወይም ተቃራኒ የሆነ ቃል rather ብዙን ጊዜ ግራ ያጋቡናል አጠቃቀም ላይ borrow, to take something from somebody for temporary use. Okay? It's you know, we're going to give it back though. Okay? Here, let's see some examples. Example sentences. Let's see. Borrow. I borrowed this book a month ago. A month ago, you may say. Okay? I borrowed this book a month ago. From where? From the library, or could be from somebody. Okay, ከሆነ ሰው ሊሆን ይችላል, ከላይብረሪ ሊሆን ይችላል. So anyway, I borrowed this book a month ago, you may say. Okay? I borrowed this book a month ago. Okay? Yeah. Borrowed. So this is, you know, I took it for temporary use, and I know in my head I'll give it back. Okay? ስለዚህ ውሰት የሚለውን ነገር አንርሳም. መዋስ መሆኑ መበደር መሆኑ, right? So check the example sentence here. I borrowed this book a month ago. From where? Could be from somebody or from the library. Okay? It doesn't matter the source anyway. I borrowed this book a month ago, you may say. Okay? So that's temporarily. I'll read it, use it, and then take it back. Okay, let's see other example. She borrowed this car from her friend, you may say. Okay? You know, the preposition from, it helps out also. From kama mohonu ji takumanadech, right? From somebody, from a friend, from family, or you know, parents, it could be. So anyway, she borrowed this car or this vehicle from her friend. Okay? She borrowed this car. So when you borrow something, it's not yours. It's you take it for temporary use. Okay? Look here. When we say borrow, you know, remember two things. One, the verb take, and the other thing is from. Okay? From. So borrow, to take something from somebody for temporary use. Okay? Yes. So I borrowed this book a month ago. Okay. Here, she borrowed this car from her friend. Okay. It's not belong to her. This vehicle is, her friend's car. Originally, it's her friend's car. Okay. Good. So these are the examples that I can mention for borrow. Now let's go to the word, lend. The opposite. Lend. Lend. By the way, the past form of borrow is borrowed. All you do is add ed. Okay, add ed. It's it's a regular verb, but this one is a regular verb. Okay. በዚህ አጋጣሚ ሐላፊያቸውም እንወቅ እቺ ኢዲ ትወስዳለች በሐላፊ ጊዜ ኦኬ ወደዚህኛው ደግሞ እንመጣለን right lend is ምንድነው ሌላው to give something የሚለው በነገራችን ገንዘብ ሊሆን ይችላል መጽሐፍ ሊሆን ይችላል anything so ለዚህ ነው thing ያልነው to give something to this time ቅድም from የነበረች to somebody what for temporary use again for what temporary use okay check here when we say borrow to take something from somebody but here lend is to give something to somebody for temporary use again don't forget it's on the understanding to give it back okay ምን ያልን ነው እዚህ lend የሚለው lend የሚለው ምንድነው ይሄ ደግሞ ማዋስ ነው ማዋስ ወይ ማበደር ማዋስ lend to give something to somebody for temporary use ይሄኛው ደግሞ እዚህ ጋር ምን ያልን ነው እንደምታዩት lend ደግሞ እዚህ ቅድም ምን ነበር በአማርኛው ማዋስ መበደር ነበር እዚህ ጋር ስንመጣ ማዋስ ማበደር ራሳችሁ እንደ ኤግዛምፕል አድርጋችሁ ውሰዱና እናንተ ለሰው ስታውሱ አንድ ነገር that's lend ነገር ግን እናንተ ከሰው የሆነ ነገር ስትዋሱ ስትበደሩ ግን it's use the word borrow you understand here all right so lend to give something remember two verbs here take but here give and then the preposition here from but here is to all right so lend to give something to somebody for temporary use okay yeah that's it good one let's see some examples like we did before ቅድም እንዳደረግነው ተወሰን ኤግዛምፕሎችን እንስራ example sentences I lent some money to my brother you may say I lent some money to my brother የሆነ ገንዘብ ወንድሜ አበደርኩት የሚለው እንግሊዝኛ I lent this time አያችሁ የlend ሐላፊ ማንንም ተሆኖ ማለት ነው lent ትሆናለች I lent some money to my brother you may say okay I lent some money to my brother okay ተወሰነ ገንዘብ ለወንድሜ አበደርኩኝ ማበደር ነች ብለናል lent the past form of የlend ሐላፊ አሁን ደግሞ ምን ትሆናለች ማለት ነው yes lent ትሆናለች ማለት ነው lent ትሆናለች ማለት ነው እዚህ ጋር ed መጨመር ነው እዚህ ጋር ግን እርስ በርሷ ነው የምትቀየረው okay I lent some money to my brother you can say all right he lent his bag to his classmate check here እሱ ቦርሳውን ለማናዋሰ ለክፍል ጓደኛው you can imagine both can be friends right classmate የሚለው ስላለ right there peers so he lent his bag to his classmate. He lent his pen to his classmate. This is also possible. He lent his bag to his classmate. Also possible. Great. All right. Wonderful. He lent his bag to his classmate. So ለጓደኛም አዋሰ ምኑ ቦርሳው የለክፍል ጓደኛ. How do we know he's his class friend, classmate የሚለው ስላለ, right? So this can be two examples for lent. I hope you got that informative. Let's continue, please. Right. Well, another verb we have is adopt. Adopt is to raise a child, to raise a child as your own, okay? To raise a child as your own. ጉደፍቻ የሚባለው ነው። የጉደፍቻ ልጅ ማሳደግ ኃላፊነት ወስደህ, you know, this is what adopt, to raise a child as your own. ማሳደግ የሚለው ነው. Adopt, to raise a child. Okay? At the same time, by the way, adopted child ከዚህ ጋር የሚወጣ ምን አለ? Adopted child. Adopted what? Child. These are compound words, you know. It comes from adapt and then the child, it goes together. Adopted child. And possible to say adopted parents, also possible. Adopted parents. Adopted parents, you know, the parents, we call them adopted parents, and the child, adopted child. All right. Yes. So anyway, adopt is to raise a child as your own. Biologically you're not the father or you're not the mother, but the thing is, you know, you take the responsibility. If you adopt a child, you are adopted parent, single parent, or both parents with this, right? ዚጋንደም ታይታን, you know, የጉደፍቻ ልጅ ወስደን ማሳደግ adopt ይባላል. It's a verb again, adopt, to raise a child as your own. Biologically you're not the father or you're not the mother, okay? Unfortunately, if you adopt the child, you are adopted parents. So if you know the word adopt, you know, it's driven out the words like adopted child and adopted parents, okay? ነዚህን አብረን ተዛማች የሆኑ ከዛም ይወጣል። adapted ኃላፊ እናደርገውና child, adapted parents እንላለን ማለት ነው። አይ we this child. If they say both parents, we is, that's both parents, mom and dad. We adopted this child, okay? Which means he's not our biological child, okay? He's not our biological child. We adopted this child. We are what? The adopted parents. We are responsible to raise this kid or this child. That's what it means. So we adopted this child, okay? Adopted. So we adopted the child, you may say. We are the adopted parents. Then we are what? The adopted what? Parents. If you say we, both, okay? Both, mom and dad, parents. We are the adopted parents. We are responsible to raise him. Good. The other one is adapt with A. This is O here. Mind the spelling here. Adapt. Adapt. This is, okay? Adapt. What is this? To customize. To customize. Well, you can spell it. Americans, they spell it with Z. British people, they spell it with S. So it doesn't matter. Either you can spell it. So adapt, when we say adapt, is to customize, okay? To customize what? Environment or condition. All right, so adapt. ይሄ ምንድነው? መላመድ የሚባለው ነው። መላመድ ለአየር፣ መላመድ places could be, all right? if you are a stranger in a foreign land, you know, you need to be adapted to the environment, to the weather condition, to the climate stuff, right? Adapt, to customize. Melamed የሚባለው ነው, right? So look, this spelling adapt, this is O, but they have, you know, more similar sound. Adapt, this one is A, as you can see here, but this one is O here, but they have very close sound. So here, adapt, to raise the child as your own, okay? But this one is adapted to customize. Customize what? Okay? Environment, and climate, weather, in places, right? Yeah. ሌላ ቀርቶ ከአንድ ሰፈር ወደ ሌላ ሰፈር አዲስ አበባ ውስጥ ሆኖ ስንቀይር እንኳን, you know, we are new to that environment, right? In that case, we need to be adapted with the people around and with the weather around, you know. So anyway, to customize, okay? The customize is that's an American spelling, but the S is with a British spelling, okay? Great, so let me just give you some examples for this also. Adapt. It is so hard to adapt the weather for the first time, okay? In a new place. In a new place. In a new what? Area or a place. For instance, it might be hot, you know, harsh weather, or it might be, you know, very cold, right? So it's so hard to adapt the weather for the first time in a new place, you can say. Okay? ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የሆነ ቦታ ቀይረን በተለይ ሀገር ስንሄድ, you know, አየሩ ወይ በጣም ሊሞቅ ይችላል ወይ ደግሞ በጣም ሊበርደን ይችላል። መላመድ አስቸገረኝ ስንል, it is so hard to adapt the weather for the first time in a new place. All right? So anyway, remember this with all, adapt is to raise a child which is not yours. Biologically you're not the father or the mother, but the thing is you just raised him, you took responsibility, right? Here, adapt, which is a spelling, to customize with environment, weather, like I said, even people around you, okay? Good, well, this is the end of the lesson. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care of yourself and each other. Thank you, goodbye, I'm out. So don't forget to subscribe and do your thing, people. Goodbye, I'm out.